Most developer can explain what a HashMap is, but can you explain why the internal structure changes from linked list to tree in Java 8? Can you explain why volatile is not enough for thread safety? So if you are between 3 to 6 years of experience and you are looking for the job switch and you are targeting the companies like Oracle, okay, you may be thinking like recently there are 30,000 people got laid off from the Oracle, so why I am still making this video. Thing is that the the layoff is because of some funding to the AI infrastructures, and why I am making this video is that the questions that Oracle interviewer is asking to the candidates, it's like pretty much common throughout the IT industry, and they ask little bit in depth of the functionalities and the use cases as well. So that will help you to prepare for the other companies as well, and even for the Oracle as well. So before going ahead, if you see, I have listed down this all these questions and the difficulty level. So 4 star, 5 star means this is highly difficult. It is not just the theory questions. I will go one by one. You can see like the questions, then the key point you need to cover in the interview, then how you can relate it with your sample example as well. So I will be explaining all the things. So let's get started with the video. So you will get the source code from the GitHub. The link will be provided on the descriptions. So let's start with our first question. So first question is that on the string immutability and the string pool. So question is, why is string immutable in Java, and what is the string pool, and what happen when you use double equal versus dot equals on the string. So you need to cover these key points: why string is immutable, the new string, and the string literal, and the intern function, double equals, and the equals comparisons, and why immutable. So let me give you example and I will explain why by one. So here the two string literal has been created, hello and hello, with s1 and s2. So the thing is that so in memory area there is a one section called the string pool. So on that string pool, so these two reference will be added. So and it is pointing to the same reference. So if we use double equals, so means that same pool reference, then it will be true. And dot equals method, it actually comparing the content within that two string. So here also it is returning the true. Next, the about new string, it will bypasses the pool. So if you use initialize the variable with a new string and any values, then it will be stored on the heap areas, not the pool area. So if you could now, if you compare s1 and s3, it will be false. Why? Because s1 is pointing to the pool address and s3 is pointing to the heap address. So both are different. But if you compare with dot equals, so that means the content is same, hello and hello. So that's why it is showing true. Next is that intern. It is forces the string into a pool. So if we see s3 is on the heap. So if we do s3 dot interns, so it is forcing like from the heap to store on the pool. So now s4 is pointing to the pool area. So if you now compare double equal to 4, now it will be true. The immutability concept means like the object or the fields cannot be changes. So if we see, first we have done this tip in the original field, and now we have concatenation has been done, but the original is unchanged. So if you print like original and the modified, original is showing deep and the modified is showing deep developer. So let's move with our next questions. HashMap internal working. So how does HashMap work internally in Java? Then what happened during put or the get method, and what is hash collisions? So if we see, like key point you need to cover like HashMap, indexes, collisions, hashCode, load factors, and like regarding the thread safety. So for example, we have our custom HashMap, and we have like ID, and ID will be stored, and we are overriding this hash code. So the thing is that when you have implement the custom HashMap. So you need to override hashCode as well as the equals method, but here we are just overriding the hashCode, which is not any good. The good approach is both hashcodes and equals method need to be override, what we have done here. So point is that when you use the put or the get, so first it is adding and the next is like it next is like Bob, it is also adding the new records, and ls is like the same keys is there, so now it is overriding that particular values, now it is showing the 100. So if we do our custom hash code, so if we see this bad key which is our map, so if we add a new object, so here the id both are same, means the key are same, even the key is same, but it is not equals method is not the overridden, so here the size will be showing as 2, which is not the correct for the good key. So good key is like 1 and 1, yeah, the keys are the same, and so it is, and then it is checking the equals method as well, now it will replace, so the size will be 1 now. You can explain about the triffication, means in the Java Heap when the linked list is converted to the tree node, so the complexity is decreased to order of log n complexity, and you can talk about the load factor. Move to the next questions. Before going ahead with the next question, I request you please subscribe to the channel and like the video, and also mention your total year of experience, so I can make those kind of videos for you. So next question is, what is the stream API? Explain the intermediate versus terminal operations, and what is lazy evolution in the string. So key point you need to consider like a stream, intermediate operations, and like filter, map, terminal operation like collect, for each, reduce, and stream can be consumed once, the parallel stream. So these things, this parallel stream, these things are required as you are having like much experience, so you should explain them properly. So let's understand with the examples. So we have like list of employees, and employees we have like 5 fields, so 5 employees there. So if you want, if you, the point is the filter, map, and collect. So we are using filter, filtering the salaries of the employees which is greater than 90k, then we are getting this name using the map, then we are sorting in the based on ascending order. So those are intermediate are the lazy operations. Now it is terminate operation, now it is execute the pipeline. Then reduce is aggregate to a single value, it is convert to a single value. So if we do map to double, we are getting this salary, then reduce means we are summing up all the salary. And next is like grouping by, group employees by the department. So if we see the string is the department and the list of employee, so we can use this grouping by. So it is better for you to run this particular applications or the particular files, and understands like how this particular fields and the methods and how they are giving the output, you can run in debug mode as well to get the better understanding. So let's move ahead with our next questions, which is on the function interface. So what is function interface, and what is the built-in function interface in the Java Heap, and how do lambda expression relate to function interface? So you can explain the other function interface annotations, you can explain the lambda built-in function like predicates and the method reference and the composing functions like and then compose. So let's move ahead. So to write an custom function interface, we need to have the function interface annotations. Then we need to have like only one abstract method, we can have like any numbers of the default methods. So we have different function interface like predicate, functions, consumer. Let me just click one of the function interface. So if you see this this predicate is the function interface and it has the method. So if you in the right, if you this click on it here na, so whatever this particular field is there na, all are like function interface. So you can go and check this, the predicate, we have like suppliers. Move ahead with our next concept called optional class. And what is optional in Java Heap and how does it help with null pointer exceptions, and what is the difference between orElse and orElseGet. So these are like pretty much like in detailed questions that was asked for the experienced candidate only. So still they will just go to what is optional in Java and how it helping in null pointer exception. That is the for like freshers, and for an experience we need to go in depth. So you can cover like optionals, difference between optional dot of non-negotiable, empty, or else get, map, plat map, filter. So for examples, if we use like optional dot op nullable, so what it is showing, it is even this we are passing the null, so it will be not showing the null pointer exceptions, it will be showing the empty. So if we just hover over this op nullable, so if you see return an optional describing the given value if the non null, if it is not null it will be returning the optional, otherwise return the empty optional. It will be not showing the showing the null point exception. So better to use of nullable, and optional dot of, if we do it has the value. So if we do optional dot null, optional dot of and null, then it will be showing the null pointer exception. Then we do is present to check the values is there or not, is empty, check the if it is an empty, then if present, like then it will be getting the values. You have or else get, map plus filter combinations. So you can just go through this in details. So next, understand the difference between comparator and the comparable. So what is the difference between comparator and the comparable, and when do you use one over the other? So that is the main thing. Difference you can explain, the use cases you need to explain in the better way. So comparable is for the natural ordering implemented by the class, like within the class it should be implemented, and comparator is the external ordering, so implement outside the class. So we in the Java 8 we have like comparing, then comparing, reverse in the comparator. So if we see, the comparable is the natural order by the salary, it is implementing the comparable, and it is overriding this compared to. So it is only order the employee as per the salary. So in the case 2, so if you want to compare based on the by name, or based on the other things, then what we need to do, we need to use this comparator. So if you see comparator, the sort by name is the sort by name, so then comparing, then again like sort by name in the descending order, then again we can do then comparing for the multi-level sorting. So first we need to do this comparing, and then comparing it is doing based on like first department, then on the salary. So now it is for the multi sorting. So you can go on this for the better understanding purpose also. Next is that what is the difference between HashMap, hash table, and the concurrent HashMap, and how does concurrent HashMap achieve thread safety without locking the whole map. So you can explain like HashMap, you can store the null key, hash table it will be not you cannot store the null key, the concurrent HashMap also you cannot store the null key. So you can go through these implementations also, this HashMap we have created, and the concurrent HashMap, it is like safe atomic operations, and there is a put absent, if it is absent, so if you are putting this Java as an key, if the Java is not there, so it will be using 0. So in the first case put absent, the Java with the value 0, and the next case put if is absent, means it is not absent, so it will be ignored as they already exist. And now if we see this get Java, then it will be returning the 0. So try to check the difference between put and the put absent, and the compute if absent. So let's go with the next questions, the volatile and the synchronized keyword. So what is volatile keyword, and how does it differs from synchronized, and when do you use volatile versus atomic integers? So you can explain volatile is used for the force read and write directly to the main memory, and the synchronized, it's guarantee both the visibility and the atomicity. Atomic integers, it is a lock free atomic operations, So just understand with the some examples, like we have used volatile on the field call running. The volatile flag is used as an stop signal between the thread, and if we see the atomic integer also we have used. So let's understand a little bit code. So here, like volatile flag, it is like correct stop signal. Now it is using this running, and what it is running what it is now. In the first thread it is true, then it will be converting to the false. Then like volatile writes immediately visible to the worker threads. Now if double check locking is one of the most concepts, so they can ask like utilize the double check locking in your singleton class. So move with the next question is the exception handling. Yeah, so what is the difference between checked and unchecked exceptions? Then what is try with resources, and what is the exception hierarchy? So exception hierarchy, like we have like throwable, from the throwable we have error and exception. Then from the exception we have a runtime exception, which is called the unchecked exception, and the checked exception is occur during the compile time. So for example, checked exceptions, you can tell like file not found exception, and unchecked exception we can like any kind of null pointer exception. And error is like out of memory error, stack overflow error. So now let's understand with the some example. Like if you want to create on custom checked exceptions, we need to extend the exception us, and you can do your implementation. For the custom unchecked exception, you need to use the runnable extend the runnable exception class. So these things you need to be know properly. So now, like one thing is that if you had to handle like multiple exception, the multiple catch, so you need to use this pipe operators. Yeah. So next, move to the next question, which is generic and wildcard. So if you are still watching, then it is very good, like you are really interested in cracking any kind of in Java interviews. So just put your comments if you have any issues, or if you want any specific company's videos, I will make that as well. So let's start with the video. So what is generic in Java? Explain the extent versus super, and what is a type erasure. So generic provides like compile time type safety, avoid cascading. Like in some case, if you see, you may observe this class cast exception. So on that we need to use this generic to resolve those kind of exception. So let's move with the sample code. So to create a generic, and also they can ask you like create your custom generic. So we have this HashMap, right? So they also ask you like to create this custom generic as well. So we can use this t means it will accept any type of value, and maybe integer, maybe string, maybe any custom classes, employee, student, that kind of things. And then the generic methods also, it is taking the two arguments and it's returning also the one. Then you should you can understand these use cases as well and try to explain them as well. So and yeah, this we if you see in the some case we are using this extend, and some case we are using the super. So you can explain that PECS producer extend the read item from the collections, and the consumer super like a write item in the collection. So if you go down, we have already this code as well. So better you can run this and try to understand like how it is working internally. Next question is that default and static method in the interface. So what is default method in the interface, and why they are introduced, and what is the diamond problem, and how Java resolve it. So they will definitely ask this diamond problem. You can tell the example to explain them. So default methods, it has the body in the interface. The keyword should be default, and the starting method, it is for the utility method, belong to the interfaces, not the instance. Then diamond problem means when a class is implementing the two interfaces with the same default method, and the two interfaces have the same default method. So in that case, we need to override explicitly by ourselves. Let's understand that. So for example, we have one interface called the greetable, and we have one greet method which is the default method, and we have another interface called the farewell, which is having the method called greet. Now we implement, so this is the class user implement the greetable, that is fine. The implementing the one instance, the inherit by default. Now it is the diagonal problem is that if we inherit the greetable as well as the farewell, now what to do with the greet method? So we need to explicitly return the call the greet method. So we are calling the greet method of greetable interface, and we have one more interface called the farewell interface. So if you want to call the farewell interface as well, then you can call this farewell interface, but if you want to do combine call, then you can use this greetable super greet and plus this farewell super greet. Let's move to the next question. This is the advanced collection questions, and it is better to you should run this code, or you can go through the code one by one and try to relate with the sample example. So what they will ask, what are the some advanced uses of the collection, explain grouping by, partitioning by, and downstream collection with the example. So we have collectors with a two unmodifiable list. So let's understand one by one. So we have one list of products and the grouping by. We also learned this in last in the Java stream API, right? So grouping by plus the downstream count per category means it will be grouping the category based on the category, and it will be counting. So it will be showing this category name and the count of the each category, and this grouping by plus downstream average price per category. So it is grouping by, it is grouping the product as per the category, and for that particular category it is summing up the product prices. You can check that as well. Then name per category, so it will be showing the category name, and then from that category what are the different product name, it should be listed. So you can also, yeah, little bit confusing, I understand that, but you should go through this, and if you do this collector dot partitioning by, if you just do this, click on this, so you will see the lot of methods are there. The partitioning by, we have another method called grouping by concurrent, and you just go through this and check the implements. See, the grouping by is also there. This is very like it's not difficult, but it is sometimes time consuming. No need to go in depth, just go like overview and just try to relate it with some example, then that is the most expected answer. So let's move with the next question called the completable future. So what is completable futures and how does it better than the futures? Explains supply async, then async, then combine, and exceptionally. So futures, in the futures we have this get method which is the blocking, and completable futures, it is a non-blocking pipeline and it's have callback. Supply async, run and the async tasks, then apply, then async, then combine. Again, yeah, this is, I will try to say you just again, I am saying again and again why it is, because it is better to run this code and check this source code one by one. And for me, like it is it took time to, I already revised like how I will explain to you. So that time only I got the difficulty, like how it will take some times. Like it have like fetch orders, then supply async it is showing, and if you see the supply async, then apply, how they are two are using. So then apply it is using the fetch user. We click on this fetch user, it is already using the supply async plus the then apply, then it is then accept, and what they are actually doing, then combine, and then combine. If we again they like click on this method now, so in this it is a part of the completable future. Completable future is the then combine async, then combine async both, then accept both async. So those are the like very in details. If you see, the lot of codes are there, no need to go on that much deep, but yeah, if you are really interested you should go and explore. Next is like Java memory model. So they will ask you like explain the difference between the stack, heap, memory in the Java, and how does garbage collection work, and what causes the memory leak. So this is the one of the most questions, like how to avoid memory leak. This is also one of the most asked questions. So let me go to this in depth. So if we have this int x and s, so here int x is like it is a primitive, so it is directly stored on the stack, and s it is a literal, so it will be storing in the string pool, which is then part of heap, and it is an object, so object will be stored on the heap. And so you can see this this is the methods with some method call, so object created in method, so eligible for the garbage collection after return. So then the garbage collection will occur. Also list is pointing to the null, so now the garbage collection will be occur. So but it is decided by the JVM, we are not handling by ourselves, no need to call this system the garbage collection. And here also some properties, the memory flag for the reference, they can understand like what is the means of XMS, XMS, SS. So these are like increasing or decreasing the thread or pool size or the memory, so you can check that. Next and the final questions is like explain the design patterns. So singleton builders, explain the singleton patterns and how do you make it thread safe, and what is the builder pattern and why it is better than better than the constructor creation. So you can try to explain them. So singleton we will be using this enum, and the builder, in the builder pattern you can use, so instead of sending the whole fields to as a response, we can send our custom, we can send our custom field. So you can just go through this as well. So that's all with the video. So I would suggest you to clone this particular repo and like run the file one by one and understand the each and every concept. It may take some times to understand the in-depth flow. So yeah, please like the video and all the best for your interview.